Hello and welcome to the Academy of Healing Nutrition info session. I am Inga Belinkina. I am Academy Admissions and Enrollment Coordinator, and you are joined with us today on our webinar that is devoted to the online program. So if you are not familiar how to use the webinar format, let me explain to you how you can participate first. So you have a control panel on the right side of your computer probably, and there is an area where you can raise your hand. So I would like to make sure that you can all hear me loud and clear. So please raise your hand, which is a little icon on your control panel, if you hear me loud and clear. So I'll wait a little bit, a few seconds here to see that I get some reaction and that you can hear me well. Okay, so let's continue. We are going to do a little presentation about the program, and then in the end, we will open some time for questions from you. And you can type your questions into the question box, again, in the same control panel screen, or you can raise your hand and we will get you online and you can ask it to us live. So let's begin. Today, I have invited the program director and founder, Roger Green, to talk a little bit about how the program was founded and what are the main principles on which the program is built and how you can turn the learning through this program into a rewarding new career in nutrition field. So, Roger, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello,
Hello,
everybody
Roger. How
from
are
New
you?
York.
Okay, so I'm handing it down to you, and please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you founded Academy.
Well, thank you, Inga. Hello, everybody. This curriculum is over 25 years old now. I started this in Sydney, Australia in the 1980s. And my background was I trained as a macrobiotic counselor in the early 80s at the East-West Centre in London, which at the time was pretty much the leading edge alternative health education in the world. And that was founded by one of our faculty members, William Tara, in the early 70s. It was pretty much one of the first sort of East-West curriculums established in the world. And I was very active with that community. It was a wonderful community. We had a whole building in London. We had a lovely whole food restaurant, and there was a bookstore and a restaurant and a nursery, and it was a very dynamic time for me. And that was pretty much the pioneer stage, in the early 80s. The theme of food as medicine and the emerging whole food industry was just starting. In London, we only actually had 2 health food stores in those days. I spent a lot of time studying, and I qualified as a shiatsu therapist and also at that time a macrobiotic counselor. And I was also involved with a lot of the sort of companies and businesses associated with the whole food movement. So I worked in like a tofu factory, natural bakery, all sorts of things. So I got a lot of hands-on experience. Anyway, cut a long story short, I went back to Australia and established one of the first natural health clinics in Sydney, and that's pretty much when I started the school. I was doing a lot of health counseling, and I noticed that people really needed to have some classes to see how they could put all of this wonderful information together for their healing approach. And the school developed. It was started off as a macrobiotic curriculum, but we were never sort of narrow-minded about that, and we had a very broad, flexible curriculum. and I started to study traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and so I was able to incorporate a lot of traditional Chinese medicine into our curriculum. And essentially, this curriculum now is, we refer to it as the longevity diet, because essentially we're bringing in, what I call the time-tested traditions around food as medicine. So we draw on traditional Chinese medicine. We draw on the Ayurvedic tradition, which, as you know, is also like 6,000 years old. We draw on principles of macrobiotics. We don't follow their dietary guidelines, but we draw on their philosophy and lifestyle principles. And we also incorporate principles from the Western Price Foundation, and we also bring together Western nutritional theory into a practical hands-on curriculum. So essentially, it's a very experiential curriculum. It's designed for people to really get clear about food as medicine. We have no agendas here. We explore a lot of areas, but we bring it all together for you. We synthesize all of these very, very rich traditions and bring it together so that you can assess it and digest it and encompass it totally. The curriculum is divided up between some practical cooking classes and theory classes, because I noticed very early on in my career that you really need to show people how to put this together in the kitchen setting, so to speak, in the cooking class setting, because sometimes you can talk about food as medicine, and until people start to witness, how it's produced and how you can easily put some of these foods together, and being around experienced chefs, I think, in the whole food movement is very, very important. So I've been crazy enough to be running a cooking school for over 25 years. So 4 out of these 10 weekends, as you'll see as we go through each of these modules, 4 of them are hands-on practical cooking classes. So, and it's also a professional curriculum. For those who want to train as a health coach, embedded in this curriculum, we have modules, for business and coaching skills and so forth. So I do feel that we've brought together some wonderful, deep philosophies and theories about food as medicine. We've brought together an incredible faculty. I've been working with these people for some of them over 20 years now. So this curriculum started off in Australia, and for the last 7 years, we've been active here also in New York. Pretty much, New York is where we only run the program now. We used to run it in a few other locations, and it's a very flexible curriculum, as you'll see. This webinar is pretty much about our online curriculum, but as you'll see that it's a flexible curriculum in the sense that we have these classes running from October, and you can attend some of them, and all of them you can do online, or you can do a combination of both, as Inga will describe to you later. So what I'd like to do is go through these modules with you. We have essentially the structure is put together in a way that we've got 10 modules, and each module builds on the next. So Inga, can you put the next slide on, please?
Sure.
So here's module 1 here. So I teach this class, and it's essentially a grounding in what we call the ingredients of the longevity diet. So we look at food from an energetic perspective. You'll get to know the yin and yang, which I think is very, very important to understand the vibrational or the energetic level, whether foods are warming, cooling, whether they're expansive, whether they're grounding, whether they're concentrating, whether they release energy, whether they gather energy. And in Chinese medicine, this framework of thinking about the energetics of food is very, very well defined. For instance, we have the yin-yang principle, we have the 5 element principle, which is a wonderful framework of thinking about food, how it relates to your emotions, how it relates to your thinking, how it relates to your environment, the seasonal aspect, how it relates to various health complaints. So the five-element model is an incredible framework of mind, body, and spirit. So we really get into that. The doctrine of signatures is where it all started. You know, the shape of foods, the colors of foods, how they grow in certain conditions, and how they affect, you know, various organs and parts of the body. It's a fascinating area. So we build up your knowledge and skill set about how to approach food energetically and how to start to understand the healing effects of that and how to start to understand what's appropriate for human nutrition. Now, we don't have any agendas in this curriculum. It's very broad. We actually talk about all of the food groups, and it's important to start to understand, you know, the different energetics involved. Um, Now, in this module one, we do go into the detail of the ingredients. There's quite a few new foods that you'll probably get to know through this curriculum, and their wonderful sort of alkalizing healing effects. And of course, you know, some foods are incredibly powerful for cancer, and some foods are very powerful for cleansing. Some foods are very powerful for clearing all the meridians, and we'll also look at some of the negative effects, particularly the modern diet. You know, where, as you know, we've got a little bit of modern schizophrenia here. Most people don't really understand what, you know, traditional food is and what actually our ancestors did eat, because our modern diet since the Second World War is radically different to what our ancestors ate. But you know, we don't get locked in the past here. We have these wonderful foods, and we talk about how to bring them into our modern you know, lifestyle and how to adapt them to, you know, our needs. And that's a very important word, adapting. You know, health is all about adapting, and getting to know foods. It's all about how it can support you and support your goals and your aspirations and support your lifestyle that you've chosen. Right? So that first weekend, it's a lot of theory and philosophy. Marion also teaches biochemistry, you know, foods and moods, and how it affects your brain chemistry, and all sorts of dynamics there. Now, the second weekend, module two, and approximately a month after module one, is your first cooking class. So in the module one, I've introduced you to a lot of the ingredients, a lot of the energetics, and the sort of the idea of using food as medicine and medicine as food. And then Melanie introduces you to how to put all this together. So she cooks up a storm. You'll be introduced to a lot of new cooking styles, new ingredients, and how to put them all together into beautiful, tasty, sort of gourmet whole food cooking. And Melanie also goes through her wonderful eating dietary principles. We're very strong on principles rather than getting into, you know, do's and don'ts and this and that. So understanding the principles of these foods and how they affect you, etc., is very, very important in this curriculum. And Melanie also has a similar background to me from Chinese medicine. She also started off as, you know, a macrobiotic chef over 40 years ago, in fact. And she's embraced a lot of the theories of the Western price. I consider that we bring all the good aspects of all of these traditions to our curriculum and leave out all the negative ones, or at least talk about the negative ones. I mean, everything has a front and back, you know, and we through our own faculty experience, we've been involved with these foods on our own personal healing journeys, and of course working with thousands of people, introducing them to these foods. You know, essentially we can bring in a lot of skills and knowledge to make this journey a lot easier for you. We explore all of the myths of food. For instance, we've got here, you know, modern versus traditional dairy food and so forth. So there's a lot of issues to actually really get to explore deeply with this curriculum. And Melanie is a wonderful teacher for that. Moving on to Module 3, we go back to my second class. This is a class about health diagnosis. So how to be your own doctor, how to start to read some of the signs and symptoms and how to make adjustments. Now, obviously, this is something that a Chinese doctor would use when you go along to, get your pulse and tongue diagnosed, and, you present a few, like you've got a sore back and you've got a pain here. So in Chinese medicine, we're able to put that together into a framework of yin and yang and the 5 elements, and how signs and symptoms are associated with certain organs. In fact, Chinese medicine is pretty much all about keeping your organs strong, and they have an emotional and psychological attribute to them. So it's a very, very interesting weekend for you. Plus, the real secret here is to start to understand your constitutional type. These are called the 4 constitutional body types in Chinese medicine. It's not often taught, but this is, an understanding of where a lot of cravings come from. It's an understanding of certain foods suit some people and are disastrous for other people. You might have noticed that some people can eat some cooling foods like fruits and salad and feel fine, and other people eat them and they collapse in a heap. So it's interesting to put that into perspective of the body types. It really is one of the secrets to understanding food as medicine and getting people back on track. So it's a big subject, Oriental diagnosis, but we do cover a lot of ground in that weekend. Plus, we have some excellent reference materials for you in our virtual classroom. A lot of great material to refer back to, and Inga will talk about that virtual classroom later on. Moving on to Module 4. Again, your second cooking class with Melanie. Each one has got a particular theme to it. This one, she talks a lot and shows you how to make some probiotic foods, which are incredibly important in the longevity diet. She also talks about, issues around fish and understanding omega-3s and omega-6s and how important they are. And again, you witness a lot of lovely dishes that she prepares. And moving on to Module 5. So William Tara has been involved with this curriculum. I mentioned him briefly. He's a pioneer of the macrobiotic health philosophy from the 1970s. He was responsible for training tens of thousands of people around the world in terms of, natural healing and being your own doctor, and the ideas of Taoist philosophy and like macrobiotic principles. And he's a wonderful wealth of experience, an incredible educator. We get him to talk about counseling and what we call the challenge to medicine, and where we are in our modern time, and the challenges that we have, as well as the challenges that you have as a leader in health awareness in our modern age. So a wonderful seminar by Bill. We get him over from London. He lives in London these days. And then we move on to Module 6. Module 6 is, again, your last cooking class with Melanie Ferreira. So she does 3 practical weekends covering a lot of ground. In this particular module, she talks about superfoods and soy, the issues of soy foods, and how to select animal foods, issues of detoxification. Now, in the cooking classes, we often have obviously vegetarians and vegans, and they're well catered for in these classes. There's always plenty of dishes that they can eat, but this curriculum is about exploring all of the food groups and understanding the energetics involved and how to make balance. If you are using animal foods, what are the properties? What are the healing properties? how do they affect the body and the spirit, and how to prepare them appropriately. So she covers that very, very well. And we only use the highest quality you can possibly get. Believe me, the cooking classes is like running a five-star restaurant. Very, very high quality food is used. Module 7 is a practical weekend. We call it the Barefoot Doctor. It's a sort of a hands-on weekend where you learn some wonderful exercises called Doan exercises, which you can easily pass on to your future clients. You'll get to know some basic shiatsu techniques that are used for, you know, healing aches and pains, and, you know, when somebody's stressed and so forth. So it's you know, some very basic body movement and techniques there, along with some acupressure points. You know, that you only need to know about 10 acupressure points, and you can you know, help with a lot of ailments, headaches and backaches and all sorts of things. We have a lot of fun with some of the traditional home remedies. For instance, we show you how to do a ginger compress. Ginger compress, like a miso soup, can be a cure-all for all sorts of health problems. So that's a lot of fun, and you learn a little more from our home remedies, our kitchen pharmacy. We've got a wonderful workbook prepared that you can always refer back to. Dozens, if not hundreds, of you know, home remedies for different conditions. So that's a wonderful, fun, hands-on weekend that we call the Barefoot Doctor, in the sense that there are these learning these practical techniques and getting to know things that, you know, you can do for healing and you know, grounding and so forth. Module 8 is a very interesting weekend. By this stage in the curriculum, you've started to get very grounded in Taoist philosophy, yin and yang, how to apply it, the 5 elements. You've got very grounded in whole food cooking and understanding the balance involved, and you've started to learn about warming and cooling, and you've started to learn about some of the diagnostic procedures that we have. And so we take you to a quantum level here. We introduce you to what we call the superfoods of Chinese medicine, the tonic foods, the tonic herbs. These are very, very powerful herbs. You only need to know like 10 to 12 of them. As you probably realize, there's hundreds of herbs in Chinese herbal medicine. But in cooking, you know, in terms of making some tonic teas and some soups and things like juk, which is the Chinese sort of rice congee porridge, where we add in different foods and herbs. This is very, very powerful medicine, very therapeutic. It takes your food as medicine to another level by understanding some of these common herbs like astragalus and donquois and so forth, that you can add into, you know, your cooking. And they have very, very powerful effects, very powerful rejuvenating effects, and of course very strengthening to the immune system. You get to know about the 3 treasures in Chinese medicine. You know, the Jing, which is your inherited constitutional energy, which long life, longevity, the longevity diet and long life means, you know, restoring and containing your inherited life force, your Jing. So we talk about those foods and those herbs that help to restore that. We talk about qi and blood, and shun is a word that is your consciousness. So this framework of the 3 treasures is very, very important to understand and know and to have experience with in terms of being able to work with food as medicine. So that's a wonderful, fun class, and we also have a tour of Chinatown associated with that on the Friday before. We also have that filmed, so those who can't make it, it's available. It's basically Nam Sing walking around Chinatown and talking about some of the herbs that you can find in Chinatown. Nam Sing is a very interesting faculty member. I mean, we're all interesting in one sense, in the sense that all of us have been pioneers and been active with this, for most of us, for 30 years plus. Nam Singh is African American, but he grew up in Taiwan and it was schooled in a Taoist monastery and got to know food as medicine and acupuncture as a young boy. And he was one of the pioneers of acupuncture in California. And he only teaches now food as medicine. And so that's a wonderful, fun class. Module 9 is Robert Sachs, who's a pioneer of Ayurvedic medicine, well-known author, teacher in America for the last 35 years. He's a wonderful teacher. We get him to teach the principles of Ayurvedic, body types and the principles of Ayurvedic healing with food. We get him to teach you some meditation structures, and the structure of meditation and how to put that into your practice if you wish. Also some body exercises, the 5 Tibetan exercises. So it's a wonderful, enjoyable weekend, and that's where we integrate Ayurvedic medicine into this curriculum. And our last module is the business and counseling side. Now we do embed this throughout the training course, even right from the beginning. Even in my module 1, I'm talking about how you can relate this to other people and how you can, put it into a context that other people can understand. Bill Tara, of course, builds on that with his over 40 years of health counseling with people. So throughout the curriculum, we're teaching you and discussing with you how to make this information available to other people and how to make a business out of it. But then the last weekend is a total focus on counseling and building your business. And that's with Inga and Marion. And again, we've got some wonderful course material that is associated with this weekend. So that takes you on a very dynamic journey. It's approximately 10 months. So you get to know a lot of information, you experience a lot of different teachers. It's a wonderful journey. I've had the pleasure of being teaching this for over 25 years, and I'm always amazed at the way people start off the course and the way they finish it. It really gives us, quite a buzz when people, start to lose weight and they start to feel better and they start to feel clearer and they feel more grounded and their energy levels start to come back and they start to really kind of really start to understand how food relates to them in terms of their personal journey, their spiritual journey, their health journey, and so forth. So I'm going to hand it over to the wonderful Inga, and she's going to be talking to you about some of the logistics of the online curriculum and so forth.
Thank you, Roger. That was a great presentation, and you gave a very good description of what each module is. And I do often get questions from people what exactly is taught at each of the weekends. So if you guys would like to get more information about the program, there is a lot that you can find on our website. You can read about the instructors a little more and about the curriculum and what the longevity diet is. So please feel free to visit our website. It's academyhealingnutrition.com. And we are always happy when you call us. We will be happy to answer your questions. Also, you can email your questions to info@academyhealingnutrition.com. So now I would like to talk about the structure of the online course. So we have created the online course for those who are not able to travel to New York to all the classes. And there's a couple of options that you can do with the online course. You can do the course completely online, and you can also do some of the classes live in New York and the rest online. We are starting the course on October 6th, and that coincides with the live classes in New York. So both the online group and the live class start the course at the same time. And as Roger has mentioned, there are 10 modules and they happen approximately one weekend per month. And for you who are going to do the module online, you will get the recordings of the New York classes at the time that we have each module. So, as I said, if you are able to make it to any of the classes in New York, you're welcome. We just need a little notice from you. Let us know maybe 2 weeks in advance that you will be coming, and it would be great to meet you. You will also get access to the online classroom, and all our students, both from online class and the live class, get access to the same online classroom. And we are doing this for the purpose of connecting you together, and so you can share your experiences and get to know each other and create a little community. We have a student forum right in the classroom where you can ask questions and share your recipes and um, get to know each other. So we really encourage this participation in the online classroom from all of our participants. You will get workbooks and other course materials from us. There are three pretty big workbooks that you will be shipped, and there is a lot of extra material that is posted in the online classroom in the file library. You can always email us or give us a call if you have any particular questions about the program. You need some clarification. There's always someone there who is going to be able to answer your call and give you some advice. So this is how our online classroom looks. This is just the beginning, the first page. And there's a lot of features that you can take advantage of in the online classroom. There's a chat feature. So if you are logged into the classroom and there's someone else who is online, you will be able to see it. And you can do a little chat right there from the classroom. There is a file library where you can find um, some additional materials that is not presented in your workbooks, but is great for your own research and further knowledge. In the document section, you will find the materials that are part of the curriculum. So you can find some forms, like the health history forms that we want you to adjust for your own use, and other materials like the kitchen practicums and some of the handouts that teachers give at the classes and that are not in the workbooks. So, as I have said, in order to participate in the online group, you will have to study the workbooks, watch the class recordings, and participate in the online classroom. And we always encourage you to practice in your kitchen and with your family and friends and cook as many dishes as you can and really integrate the information that you're learning from the recordings of the classes and the workbooks in your own home setting. So this is a really valuable part of the program that you integrate the theory into practice. In order to graduate from the program, you will have to comply with certain graduation requirements. We have quizzes that are posted in the online classroom that are designed for your own education. We don't really grade them, and they are timed quizzes. Um, you will have to be quick and check your own knowledge of a certain subject. And if you didn't score very well from the very beginning, you can retake the quizzes a couple of times. So therefore, basically checking how you have assimilated the information from each weekend, and they're not graded by us. They're graded by the system, by the online system. And this is how this is some of the questions that you can um, expect from the quizzes. So there are also a number of assignments throughout the program. The first one that you get is to put together your own history form, health history form that you share with your clients. And we give you templates. There's a number of them in the online classroom. And with the knowledge that you have gotten from the first four modules, which takes you through pretty much some cooking classes and the foundations of the longevity diet and health assessment skills. So, with that knowledge, we want you to really go over the forms and see which questions would be really valuable for you to collect from your clients so that you get a really thorough intake form and you will be able to help them with really targeted suggestions. So this is one of the assignments. We also request that you send us the case studies with the clients that you will start working with after the third weekend with Roger. So once you start learning about health assessment and diagnosis, we um, we encourage you to start working with what we call a guinea pig client or several of them. So you put together your own health history forms, and then you start actually carrying the whole consultations with them. And since you're not coming to class, we would like to have a brief description of how did it go and what did you find out in the session and what were your challenges. So we want to see how you're progressing so that we know how to help you further. Uh, in the end, towards the end of the course, I would say, starting from the second part of the second half of the course, you will be given an assignment to start working on a final project paper. The project paper is a 10 to 15 page document that you write and submit by the end of the program in order to get your certificate. So students have really been enjoying writing this paper because it's something that they are able to use in their own practice. Um, so you are suggested to choose one of the topics, and it can be something that you either would like to specialize in the future or create your niche, or it's something that is a health challenge that you have personally encountered in your life and you know a lot about it and you have the experience on addressing it from different angles, from both the medical Western angle and possibly you've done some alternative treatments and a certain diet. So we want you to choose one subject and cover it from all the angles, including the Chinese medicine and include some recipes and the patterns of this health concern. So everything that you're learning in this course, you can put together in this 10 to 12 page paper, and we give you the guidelines for writing this paper. So it's pretty easy and it's a very involving project and students really enjoy writing it. And we post many of these papers in the online classroom so you can see examples and also can use for your own education. So in the end of the course, once you submit the project paper, you will be able to receive the certificate. And the certificate that you get from us qualifies you to start your own practice as a holistic health counselor, nutrition coach, and also specific to our program is the title that you can use, longevity diet coach. And our program is accredited in the United States by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, and this is how the certification from their institution looks like. And this is the certificate that you will get from us. It also has a backside that describes all of the principles that you have learned, so basically the curriculum, and outlines the areas of expertise that you have from this program. And here we are on to the end of our session, and I want to talk about some of the possible discounts that you can take advantage of when you sign up today or by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So the tuition for the online program is 7,500, and currently we're running a sweet back to school promo, which is $1,000 off the tuition, and it's running until October 4th. So that's almost until the beginning of our course in October. You can also take advantage of a full payment discount, which is $500 off. If you register today or tomorrow by 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., you can save $300 on your tuition. That's our special webinar discount. So if you were present on the webinar today or you're listening to the recording today or tomorrow, by calling us and registering for the course, you can take advantage of this extra discount. If you are able to travel to the class, if you take more than 6 classes live in New York, you can take advantage of this traveling discount. And once again, all of this is posted in the on the website. So if you need to review something, you can just go to academyhealingnutrition.com, and all of this information is there. The age discount is $500 off if you're 24 or less and 65 and more. And if you are not able to make a full payment, there's a flexible payment plan that we offer. And the best part of it is that it's interest free. And how it works is your final tuition amount that we work out with each of you on a personal basis, with all of these discounts that may possibly apply to you. We break down the tuition amount into 10 to 12 monthly payments. So when you enroll in the payment plan, we require a $600 deposit, which is going towards your tuition. So it's not something extra, it's just a deposit that is taken out of your tuition amount. And then the remaining amount is broken down into 10 to 12 monthly payments. We can work out how many would be suitable for you. And the payments are due on the first of every month. And usually we do the credit card payments. We just keep your card on file and charge the amount that we have decided on once a month. Or you can also provide us with the post-dated checks for all of the months, and we deposit one of the checks once a month. So this is the tuition and the payment structure. And we are opening the time for some of the questions. I hope that you do have some. And just one more time, I just want to remind you that if you are listening to this webinar live with us today or listening to the recording within the next 24 hours, you can take advantage of the $300 off the tuition on top of all the other discounts that we have described today. So thank you everybody for participating in our webinar. And thank you, Roger, for giving a really awesome description of the modules and telling us about the program.
My pleasure, Inga, and I hope to meet some of you people out there in internet land, and hope you consider seriously our curriculum. We have a lot of fun with this training, and you will get a lot out of it.
Thank
So
you,
bye
Roger.
for now.
Thank you. So we are closing the webinar for those who are listening to the recording, and I'm going to stay here for a little more together with Roger, answering some of the possible questions from you. Okay. Thank you, everybody.